Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Annie, and today we are going to be going through every single book that I read this year, or last year I guess, because this is January already, but every single book I read in 2023. So they're all behind me right now. I read 133 books, which is crazy. I cannot believe I actually read that many. And I had 5 DNFs, I think, that I can remember. And we will be going over those at the end as well. But I just wanted to put out a disclaimer that if you guys have read 5 books or 300 books in 2023, that is okay. It doesn't change the value of yourself, and it doesn't matter how many I read or how many you read. It's just fun to keep track and just see how many books you read, but it really doesn't matter. For this year, for 2024, my reading goal is 100 books, and that's what it was last year. Even though this year I read 133, it's like, okay, that's okay to exceed my goal, but like, even if you read 30 books, like, that's amazing, and that is awesome. And I don't think that it should matter how many books we read, and I don't think you should compare yourself to others of how much they read, because we all have different lives and different things going on in them, or lack thereof. You know, don't have much of a life, clearly. Like, what? So for this, I'm basically just gonna be doing, I'm gonna hold up the book. Most of the books are in kind of a monthly order-ish. They kind of got mixed up because I was gonna film in different parts of my room, but I kind of wanted it to be like my background, you know? And so I put them against my closet. So they're kind of not in perfect order of like how I read them throughout the year, but they're pretty similar, I would say. Like, this is the last book I read in 2023. The first book I read is this. No, this. So it's like not gonna be in perfect order, but as you can see, it's pretty close. So let's just get right on into it. I'm just gonna say one sentence or 2 sentences, like, just go through pretty quick because I don't want this video to be like 10 hours long, but I'll just go pretty quickly through each book and give you guys my rating. And yes, so let's go. I'm so excited. I should probably get out my ratings. That would probably be a good idea. Let's see. What did I rate these bookies? I keep in my notes every single book I read. I keep in my notes and I rate them. It's cool. I don't know if you guys think that, but I think it. Okay. So the first book is Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and I rated this a 4.75. I really liked it. It was like a dark romance version of Peter Pan, and I thought it was really cool, and it surprised me. And this is one of the first dark romance books that I ever really read, so I would definitely recommend this one. Next book we have is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh, I think. And this book was probably the weirdest book I've ever read. It was literally crazy and disturbing, but it was so good and entertaining. It's about this girl that wants to sleep for the whole year, so she takes a lot of pills. And yeah, it's interesting. I would recommend it, but I feel like check trigger warnings, and also just be prepared. That's all I can say. The next book is Still Beating by, who's it by? Jennifer Hartman. And this book I rated a 5 stars. It was so good. And the trope is, so they get kidnapped, this girl and her sister's fiance, but then they end up falling in love. And I was really scared going into that because I did not think I would like that at all. But it was done in a really good way, and I think it was a great book and a really good love story, so I would definitely recommend this one. Next we have Ivy by Willow Nash, aka Devney Perry, and this book I gave a 4.25. This one was fun. I don't remember it really that much, like, it wasn't super significant, and it was a long time ago when I read it, but what I remember from it, it was really entertaining, and it was like dark academia. Wait, no, it wasn't. I don't even remember, honestly. Do I recommend it? I enjoyed it. I rated it a 4.25, so I guess I recommend it. And the title's being changed in the cover. I saw that today. So this is gonna be called something else, not Ivy, but I liked it. I guess I rated it a 4.25. Don't really remember. The next book we have is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This book, you guys, this book. Okay, it starts off pretty slow, but I feel like not too slow, but like kind of, you know, you don't really know what's going on at all. And then the plot twist, you guys, it threw me for a freaking loop. I was not expecting that. It was so good. Definitely recommend this book if you like thrillers or if you're wanting to get into thrillers as well. Next we have It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. And okay, I'm not even gonna lie, I gave this one a 3.5, but I actually feel like it could be up more. I'm not gonna change my rating on it, but I actually think about it a lot still, and I read this in the very beginning of the year, like in January. So honestly, I feel like this was a really good read and I would recommend it. It's about this girl who goes to this town. Actually, I'm not even going to describe it. I'm sure you guys have read it at this point because it was really popular, I feel like, last year. So if you guys haven't read it yet, I'd say it's a good read, you know? It's nothing life-changing, but it's a fun little read. Next we have The One and Only. 5 stars. Serial killer, FBI agent, romance. He's working on her case. Need I say more? No. Read it. Literally, like, just look at this beauty. Okay, you could tell I read this book. Like, it's not in the best conditions, but it is amazing. Next, I read ACOTAR. I gave this one a 4.25, and I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really fun, and I'm sure you guys have heard of this, so you probably already have read it, or if not, it is on your TBR, but this is your sign to read this book. Then I read A Court of Mist and Fury, and I gave this one a 4.75, and I really liked this one. It wasn't my favorite book of all time. Like, this book is a lot of people's favorite book of all time, but it just wasn't my forte. I mean, obviously 4.75k. I'm making it sound like I didn't like it. I really liked it, but it just wasn't like the greatest book of all time. I think I'm more of a romance girly than fantasy, and I like mystery too. But like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep giving fantasy a try. I mean, obviously I loved this series, like I really did, but like, I don't know. I have a hard time with fantasy. You guys have to put me on because I don't know. The next book is A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I give this one a 3 stars because look at how big this is. And there was so much war in it, and it was big and a lot of war, and that's not really something I like to read about, so it definitely was not my favorite in the series. Next I did a little, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Next, I did a little reread of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I used to read this book all the time when I was younger. It was one of my favorite books. And then, obviously, the show came out. And everyone was all talking about it. So, I reread this book. And it was cute. I gave it a 4 stars. Just a little simple, you know, fun little read. It wasn't... I actually like the show better than the books. But I feel like the books are for a younger audience because, like I said, I used to read it when I was younger, so that kind of makes sense. Next, I read, oh my gosh, my baby, The Two of Us by Taylor Torres. I rated this infinity stars. This book was so good. I read it as an ARC, and because she re-released it. It is so good. You guys definitely have to read it. It's kind of sad, but not like a sad book. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, if you want a sad book, read this. Like, no, but it's kind of like a deep book, you know? But it's really good, and I definitely think you guys should read this. This book is way underhyped, and I definitely think way more people should read it than the people that have. Does that make sense? Like, more people should read it. Next, okay, I have the ugly cover, so we're not going to talk about it because I got this book way before the new cover came out, so ew. I got Travis by Mia Sheridan. This is like the second book in like To Archer's Voice, and I gave this one a 5 stars. I really liked it, and if you ignore the ugly cover and just imagine it with like a nice cover, then this book will seem appealing. It was so good though. It was small town. It was like, yeah, he's the cop, right? Yeah, he's the chief of police, and I seriously loved it. And it was so fun seeing Archer and what was the girl's name? I don't even know. But these two had such good chemistry, the Travis and the girl in this book, Haven. Like oh my gosh, they were so cute together. I would definitely recommend you guys read this book. Dare I say I like it better than Archer's voice? I don't know. Next we have The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I gave this one a 5 stars, and I read this just like in one sitting, and it was so cute and so good and very entertaining. And it was basically like Groundhog's Day or Freaky Friday, where they just keep, or not Freaky Friday. Oh wait, is it Freaky Friday? Where they live the same day over and over again? It is, I think. Well, she lives the same day over and over again until she can get it right, and she's not really sure how to make it right. And it was really cute, and I definitely would recommend you guys to read this book. The next book we have is A Court of Frost and Starlight, and I gave this one, it's the 4th book in ACOTAR, and I gave this one a 2 stars. I did not like it. I feel like it was just, dare I say, money grab. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it was just of them celebrating a holiday, and there was no point to this book. There's really no plot other than them preparing for Christmas, but like, I don't care, you know? So you do not have to read this book. Also, when you read ACOTAR, I feel like a lot of people have the misconception that you do, but you don't. Like, trust me, this is a waste of your time. And then I read A Court of Silver Flames, the final book that is out so far of ACOTAR, and I gave this one a 4 stars because, okay, you see how huge this book is, right? Like, it is massive, and the first half was probably like a 3 star. It wasn't bad, but it was just like, I don't know, not my favorite. But then the last half, oh my gosh, I'd give it infinity if I could. So like, that's why I settled on a 4, because I was like, okay, because the first half was not 5-star material. It just wasn't. But the second half was so good. Like, the second half, like, I don't even know. I want to say this was my favorite in the series, but the beginning wasn't, but the end was my favorite in the series. So I don't even know, but I love this book. I actually think about this book a lot, so maybe my rating would go up to like 4.5 of this. I don't know. I'm not going to change it because I feel like there's no point really changing it from a 4 to a 4.5, but like, just know that this book is so good. The next book we have is Set on You by Amy Leah. I actually was very surprised by how much I liked this book. I gave it a 4.25, and I thought it was such a cute book, and it was so fun. She was a gymfluencer, and I think he's a personal trainer. Oh, he's a firefighter. Oh yeah, he's a firefighter, right? But anyways, the 3rd book is coming out in a couple months, and I'm excited to read that one too. But you guys should definitely read this one if you want a cute little rom-com, and it was really fun. I don't even like working out, so just, you don't have to like working out to like this book. I would definitely recommend this one. The next book we have is Normal People by Sally Rooney, and okay, I was scared to go into this book because I feel like people either love it or absolutely hate it. I was one who loved it. I gave it a 4.5, and I really enjoyed it. It was definitely different than the other books that I've read, but I would still recommend it. The next book we have is Marriage for One by Ella Mays, and I gave this one a 4.5. I read it quite a while ago, and I still think about it a lot. Like, I feel like the vibes in this book were so good, and I loved the characters, and I loved their romance and the fake marriage of convenience. Like, it was just so good and so fun, and she owned like a little coffee shop in it, and that was a really fun part of like the side plot that I really enjoyed. So I definitely think you guys should read this book if you haven't already. I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but I mean, I'm kind of just telling you what to read and what not to read. So the next book we have is Meet Me Halfway by Lillian T. James. I gave this one a 4.75, and I really enjoyed this one, and it's so cute too. In the beginning of the books, they show a little map of the apartment, or I think they're duplexes. Yeah, it's a duplex, and so this is like the guys and this is the girls, and it is so cute. I loved it. It's single parent, and I actually really miss this book. I low-key want to reread it. It was so good, and I thought that the main guy, what is his name, Garrett? He was so hot. So if you want to read a book about a hot guy, single mom, and like hate everyone but you, I think it's Grumpy Sunshine. Not really sure, but I'm pretty sure. Next we have The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I gave this one a 4 stars. It was good. It just wasn't my favorite ever, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute and I really liked her writing, but it was just nothing special. I don't really remember much of it. I remember the part where they're coming up with the cheat sheet, but that's all. They just both like each other and they don't think the other one likes the other, but it's like so obvious. So I don't know, that part kind of annoyed me, but it is still a good book and it's a good palate cleanser. The next book we have is Wild Souls by Faith Prince. I gave this one a 3.75. It was good. I don't remember anything about it actually. Let's see. Oh, this was a very interesting concept for a book. It was like, he can see people's souls. So instead of like seeing how people actually look, like my face, you would see different light and like different things that represent me as a person. So that was really interesting. It wasn't my favorite, but it was definitely an interesting read and it was pretty short, and I feel like that was kind of good because I don't know, but it was cute. It was a cute book. I would recommend it. The next book we have is Killjoy by Holly Jackson. It's the little novella in the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, and I rated this one a 4 star just because, I mean, I was really entertained. It was just basically them playing a game and little hints leading up to the series, and this is the prequel, but I would read it after just because I feel like it would be more entertaining that way, but it doesn't matter either way. If you read it or not, it doesn't matter to the series, and it doesn't matter if you read it before or after, but I just feel like after would be a little bit more fun. But yeah, I would read it though. Like, it's fun and it counts as a whole book when it's literally like this, unless you don't count novellas, but I do because why not? Like, it doesn't actually matter, you know, so like why not count it. And the last book in the stack is The Crush by Penelope Ward. I gave this one a 3.5 stars. It was good, but the brother pissed me off. It was brother's best friend, and it was just like a little cheesy. It totally gave Wattpad. So if you're wanting a good brother's best friend Wattpad romance, I don't think this is actually from Wattpad, but it definitely gave those vibes. But it was fun, but it just wasn't super rememberable. Okay, first act done. We have 3 more. Wait, that's 4. My gosh, that's crazy. Okay, the next book we have, should I scoot this over so I could grab it easier? Yeah, let's do that. So the next book we have is Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. Most people loved this one way more than the first one, but I gave it a 3.5, which is the same rating that I gave the first one, It Happened One Summer, but I'd probably give It Happened One Summer 3.75 and this one 3.5, because this one was kind of boring to me. Like, I don't know, I felt like the plot wasn't super there, and I don't know, but a lot of people liked this one back in the day, back when this was all popular. I don't know. Tessa Bailey is not my favorite author. I probably will never read another book of hers again. After those two, I was kind of like, I'm good. There's so many other books I'd rather read other than hers. Next, we have Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I loved this book so much. I gave it a 5 stars, and I seriously think about it still. Like, it is so good, and I want to read some of her other books too. Like, I have one of her other books, but I have another one like on my Amazon wish list, and I really liked her writing in this, and I feel like there was just so much drama in it, but not like Magnolia Park's drama, you know. This was like calm drama, I want to say, almost, but not really. Like, it was still exciting. Like, I don't even know, I'm just rambling at this point, but you guys should definitely read this book. Next, we have As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, and I give this one a 5 stars. It was definitely my favorite in the series. I loved this one. It was crazy. It was crazy and really entertaining, and I definitely would recommend this series. The next book I read was Playing Hard to Get by Monica Murphy. I give this one a 3 stars. I actually think about this one quite a lot. I feel like the vibes were there, but it was very spicy, and I mean, Monica Murphy is a very spicy author, but I love her. She's like one of my favorites, but this one was just I feel like it focused a lot on the spice rather than the plot, so it wasn't my favorite, but it was still good and I still enjoyed it. The next book is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan, and I give this one a 5 stars. It was so sad. I remember I knew it was gonna be sad. I knew something was gonna happen, and then I was reading the end of it and I was like so anxious as to what was gonna happen. And okay, I cried in this book, but I did not cry as hard as I feel like everyone else does. Like, everyone else freaks out about it, and I don't know, it was really sad. And the second book comes out this year. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. When does that come out? Should we look it up? It comes out February 6th. Ow! I got a cramp in my hand. But it comes out February 6th. That's so exciting. Ooh, it's only $11 right now. Maybe I should pre-order it. And the cover's so pretty too. Like, hold up. Look at that cover. Ooh, I love it. But anyways, this book was really good and I would definitely recommend this one if you want a sad read. Next, we have Final Offer by Lauren Asher. Peep the Sweatshirt. I wore this today specifically because I knew I was going to be talking about this book. I gave it infinity stars. It is one of my favorite books of all time. I seriously loved it so much. It was small town, it was single parent, it was second chance, my 3 favorite tropes, and I just loved everything about this. This is the 3rd and last book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, and it was by far my favorite. Cal, it's about 3 brothers, and Cal was definitely my favorite. I am obsessed with him and Alana, and what's the little girl's name? I don't know, she has a little girl, but they're all so cute, and I just loved the vibes in this book and the story, and it was definitely worth the read. The next book we have is Bunny by Mona Awad, and this book messed with my head, you guys. It was crazy. If you want to feel like you're on drugs without actually having to take the drugs, read this book. It is weird. Like, I don't even know what was going on half the time, and then after you finish it, go on Reddit and like look at people's theories and stuff, which is crazy. Because definitely go into this book blind though, because it is just, it's so weird but so good for some reason. The next book we have is Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings, and I give this one a 5 stars. Of course, this is my favorite series of all time, you guys. And look at this freaking cover. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. I actually just reread Magnolia Parks yesterday. I may or may not have read it in a day because it is just so good, and I'm gonna be rereading this whole series, so I'm really excited because I love these books so much. They are so good. But yeah, after that I read The Long Way Home. I gave this one a 4. Only because I feel like I was in a slump during it. I don't necessarily think it's because this book is pretty big, but I don't remember exactly why. But oh, the necklace, the necklace. Might have to pick this one up soon. But this book was still really good, and the cover again. Like, are you serious? These covers are everything. I bought the special edition cover of the 5th book that comes out from the UK, and I cannot wait to get it because I actually really like the shoe covers. I also have them right here actually. We're gonna ignore that. So yeah, I have the shoe covers, but like, which cover is better? This one. But I feel like these are cool too. They definitely are nothing in comparison to these. I rated this one a 4.5, and Julian Hates. You get his point of view in this book. Oh my gosh, he is like my second, I think he's my second favorite book boyfriend ever. John Logan from, what is it, The Score, The Deal, The Goal, why can't I remember the one? The Mistake, from The Mistake. Oh my gosh, he's my favorite John Logan book boyfriend out of everyone. And then after that is Julian Hates. I know he's like a mafia dude, boss, and he kills people, but Julian Hates, if you read the book, you'd understand. And you need to read this series, you guys. I didn't read the first book this year, or in 2023. I read it in 2022, so that's why it's not in this wrap up. But it is so good. Like, you guys don't understand. It's very toxic though. Okay, I need to stop talking about Magnolia Parks. Like, I literally never stop, as you guys can tell. Like, I'm just obsessed. The next book we have is The Infinity Between Us by Ennis Perkins. I gave this one 4 stars. It was pretty forgettable, honestly. It was good though, like it was a nice little read. It reminded me a lot of Love and Other Words. So take with that what you will. Take that of what you will. Take with that what you will. Something along those lines. But it was good. And the cover's cute too. And it's like a short read, so that's also kind of nice. Next we have Indigo Eyes by Maeve Hazel. I gave this one 4 stars. It was good. It was pretty simple, but it was like kind of deep at the same time. Like, I don't know, it was really short, so it's kind of, you know, like how deep can you really get? But I don't remember much of it, but I do remember enjoying it. So I would recommend it though. Like, it's good. The next book we have is Tell Me Lies by Carola Loverine, and I give this one a 3.75, and I enjoyed it, but it was like, okay, it was about this girl in a toxic relationship, so I feel like it was very, I don't even know, I don't have words for it, I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of crazy. But I would recommend it. I think it was good. It was long, but like, I feel like it was kind of necessary, you know? The next book we have is The Chase by Ella Kennedy. I gave this one a 3.5 stars, and I really liked being back in Briarview campus, but the only problem was I feel like the main guy in this book would talk such crap about her and like think bad things about her, but then he would like change. Like at the end he just like flipped a switch and then loved her. Like, I don't know. It wasn't the most believable in my opinion. Like, yeah, I know it's fiction and stuff, but like, I feel like authors do that a lot where they are enemies to lovers and they just, it's done a lot better than what I saw in this book. So I feel like she deserves way better than him, but it was still a good book and I would still recommend the series, even though that's the only book I've read of the series. But it's fine. Read The Mistake because John Logan. Next we have The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelide. I gave this one a 4 stars only because it was really good and I was really entertained the whole time, but I literally guessed the plot twist. Like, I didn't guess every single like part of the plot twist, you know, but I guessed like the main thing, and I feel like that was kind of lame because everyone said they did not see this coming. This is the biggest plot twist they've ever seen. Like, this is the craziest book ever, and it just wasn't for me, so I was kind of disappointed by that. But it was still a good read, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty obvious. The next book is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I give this one infinity stars. I adored this book. I think it is one of the best books ever, and it is small town. She is a city girl that goes to the small town, and their romance was so good. You guys, please read this book. Do you guys think I'm talking too much about the books? Like, am I saying too much detail? Because I don't know how to get through this fast. The next book is The Way I Used to Be by Emma Smith. Is that her name? Oh, Amber Smith. Oops. But this book was like really sad. It was just like a fiction book, but it was good, and I think it's a great representation of how terrible SA can be. I mean, obviously we all know it's terrible, but like really understanding the depth of it, I feel like this book helps with that, and I feel like everyone should read this book. And the second book came out. I keep seeing it at Barnes and almost buying it, but then I'm always like, I don't know why. But it was a really good book. The next book is Be Still My Heart by Emily McIntyre and Sav R. Miller. I give this one a 3.5 stars. It was pretty forgettable. Actually, I don't remember a single thing about it, honestly, so probably not recommend it. Next, we have Damaged Like Us by Kristen Becker Ritchie. I gave this one a 4.25 stars. It was good, and it was really fun being back in the Addicted world, so I really enjoyed that. It wasn't my favorite. It is nowhere near as good as the Addicted series, but I still really liked this one. Next, 2204 Hunter Lane. Hate this book. We all know. Don't read this book. Do not read this book unless you want to get pissed off. It is so bad. He literally drunk drives. I know I talk about this all the time, but he drunk drives when his mom got killed by a drunk driver every single night. Like, why? The next book we have is X's and O's by Amy Leah. I give this one a 5 stars. I feel like the romance was top tier in it, and it was just so cute and so fun. And this girl was a bookstagrammer, and I think she was a bookstagrammer, right? I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but it was really cute, and I would definitely recommend you guys to read this one. Next, we have the Bright Side trilogy. Look at how beautiful it looks. Like, we love this ombre. And the first book is Bright Side. I gave this one a 5 stars. It was so good. It made me cry. I actually have a reading vlog of this if you want to see that. It is one of my, not first videos. Actually, I think it might be. But anyways, it was so good though. And I feel like this book deserves more hype than it gets. I really enjoyed it. The second book is Gus, which is my boyfriend's name if you didn't know. So obviously I had to read it. But I gave it 4 stars. It was good. I don't remember much of it, but I'm pretty sure it's entertaining. And I feel like just reading the whole series is cool. The next book is Franco. It's a novella, so it's like very tiny. But I gave it a 3.75 stars. I can't really remember it that much. Like, I feel like it was good, and I liked seeing, because I remember Franco from the first 2 books, so it was fun seeing from his perspective and his little romance. Like, I don't think it should have been a full book. Like, I think the novella was perfect for this, but yeah, it was good though, and I feel like you guys should definitely read the whole series because it is a very good series. It's probably like a 4-star series for me. Okay, another stack down, just 3 more to go. This is a lot. I'm not gonna read so many books next year. I'm just kidding. It's January 2nd and I'm about to finish 2 books. I'm just kidding, I've only finished 1. But still, like, I'm a book ahead of schedule according to Goodreads. The next book we have is The Inmate by Frida McFadden. This one was so good. I gave it a 5 stars. It was so entertaining, and I feel like stuff was just always happening, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't like this book and have different opinions. Like, I feel like a lot of my friends don't like this book either that have read it, but I really enjoyed it. So I don't know, like, I don't know if I would recommend it just because I feel like everyone hates it, but from my personal opinion, I really enjoyed it. So I guess that's what we're going off of, right? Because it's my channel. So I guess, yes, I would recommend this book. The next book we have is Panic. My friend got this book for me. I love her, but it was not my favorite book at all. I gave it a 2. I don't want to talk about it. Next we have Coach by Devney Perry. I gave this one a 5 stars. It was so good. Second chance, small town, single parent. My fave 3 tropes, as we know. And I seriously loved this book. The second one's coming out soon. I'm not sure when, but I'm really excited to read that one too. And I loved the town, and the guy was so sweet, and this book was just so good. The next book we have is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I gave this one a 2.5 stars. I did not like it. I don't know what was going on. I don't understand the hype. I'm sorry, because I know a lot of people love this book, but I did not like it. The next book we have is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I vlogged me reading this as well, so if you want to go watch that, it's somewhere on my channel. I gave it a 4 stars though, just because it was not what I was expecting. It was basically just a huge, big miscommunication trope. But I really like Emily Henry's writing, and I liked the vibes in this book as well. So the romance wasn't my favorite in it, but everything else gets 4 stars. The next book I read was Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I give this one a 3.5. And I actually think about this one quite a lot, and it makes me not want to continue the series. Like, I still haven't, just because of this book. I just didn't really like the main guy. I don't know. This book just wasn't for me. And I was really excited for it too, because it's Larry's favorite book in the series. Larry reads, of course, is who I'm talking about, but it's her favorite in the series, and it was just not mine. So it was kind of disappointing to me, and yeah, I don't know, it was, I just didn't like it. The next book I read was The Half of It by Madison Beer. I did not rate this book because I feel like you should not be rating people's life stories, because, like, who are you to judge, you know? But it was a good book. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was super interesting. So I definitely think you guys should read this one. Like, no matter who you are, I feel like it was a really interesting book. And it's super short too, like, and I like the cover. She's so beautiful. I love Madison Beer. The next book we have is All the Little Things by Rachel Lee, or Lay, I don't know, still don't know. I'm pretty sure I had a struggle with this before, but anyways, I loved this book. I gave it a 5 stars. It was so good and so deep, and I was not expecting what happened to happen. I feel like I still think about this book, and I would definitely recommend this book. It is so good. Like, okay, I know that I don't like this part on the cover, but the cover's cute other than that. And the back too. But anyways, I definitely think you guys should read this book. It should be more hyped than it is. Next, I read By a Thread by Lucy Score. I gave this one a 5. It was so cute, and I love Dominic and Allie. Like, see, I still remember their names. I didn't even look at the back. That's how you know I liked them. What if that's not their names? Okay, yeah, it is. We're good. It was such a cute book, and it's a workplace romance, and I don't like workplace romances typically. Like, that is not a trope I usually like that attracts me, but this one was so good. It was done so well, and it was grumpy sunshine, but in the best way, and I just loved it so much. You guys should definitely read this one. Next we have I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. Like I said, for memoirs, I do not rate them, but I enjoyed this one heavily. And if you listen to the audiobook, she narrates the story, which I'm sure you guys have heard by now. But if you haven't, now you know. And I would definitely recommend reading this if you ever watched iCarly when you were younger, or just curious about Jennette McCurdy's life, or even just curious about celebrities and how they're treated in the industry, which is crazy. So yeah, this book was super entertaining though. Like, I felt like I was reading like a fiction book, you know, because I feel like usually when you think of like non-fiction, you're like, but no, this one was really good. Next we have Fourth Wing. I have the beautiful cover and the spine with the dragons on it. Woo! Love it. I gave it a 4.25. It was not my favorite book like everyone else in the world. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. Obviously a 4.25 is good, but it just wasn't like everything, you know. I do think about it sometimes, but just not that often. But I feel like I'm not going to talk about this one that much, because if you guys wanted to read it, you would have by now. The next book we have is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I rated this one a 4 stars. It was not as good as Part of Your World. Part of Your World was so much better, but this one is the second book to that, and it is the main girl in Part of Your World, her best friend. And I have decided in books I like not bad guys, but like kind of like the bad boy, rough around the edges type thing. This guy's like golden retriever, so if that's something you'd like, I definitely recommend it. And I still rated it a 4 stars, so it's still good, but it just wasn't my favorite of all time. The next book we have is Gothicana by Runix, and I rated this one a 4 stars. It was really good, and I feel like I think about this one quite a bit. It was like, it was a dark romance, but it wasn't super dark in the way that it's like makes you feel icky, you know, kind of those dark romances that are like, whoa, like that's so, I don't know. This one wasn't like that. It was dark academia, and it took place right here, and I don't know, I think it was a good book. It was entertaining for sure. It was kind of weird, but like in a good way. I would recommend. The next book we have is Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. This is definitely my least favorite that I've read by her. Super forgettable. Like, what did I even rate this? I gave it a 3.5, but like, I don't know. I don't really recommend it. Next, we have Offside by Avery Keelan. This fueled my Avery Keelan addiction. I've only read like 3 books by her. But Playmaker, am I allowed to say this? I think I can say the title. Playmaker by Avery Keelan is coming out in, we don't know exactly when it's coming out right now, but it is coming out soon, I think. There's this whole thing going on behind the scenes, but I am an ARC reader for it, so I will get to read it early and let you guys know as soon as it is released my thoughts and opinions of it. But I haven't received it yet, so I don't even know. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that because I'm so excited for it. But this book I gave a 4.5 stars, and it could honestly be a 5. Like, it was so good. It's huge, but every second of it was just so amazing. Definitely read this one if you like hockey romances, want to get into hockey romances, or just want to read a good book. The next book we have is I'll Always Be With You by Monica Murphy. I rated this one a 3.5. What was this one? Oh, the ballerina one. Oh yeah, it was cute. It was, I feel like it's kind of repetitive of the ones before, and I don't think it took place at Lancaster Prep. Oh wait, yeah it did. I don't know, it just wasn't my favorite in the series. It was pretty forgettable. but I still would recommend the series as a whole. The next book we have is Ghosted by J.M. Darhauer. I gave it a 5 stars and I think about this book still all the time. It is such a wholesome book and it is so it makes me so happy, honestly. Like, it was such a good second chance romance. It was single parent and small town, the 3 favorites, right? Are we getting like a little pattern here? But yeah, definitely read this book. You guys, I'm going crazy. I'm like sticking it in your face. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll not do that again, but just read this book. I'm tired. I need a coffee. I haven't had one for like 2 days. Is this centered? I can't tell anymore. The next book we have is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I kind of had low expectations for this because I heard that it was not that good, but it's a super quick read and I feel like it was entertaining. Like, I would definitely recommend it, and I gave it a 3.75. The next book is Consider Me by Becca Mack. This book was really hyped up, I want to say in the beginning of the year, but I gave it a 3.5, so it was still good, but it just wasn't my favorite book ever, you know. But it was a really good, it was good hog romance. I don't know what else to say about it. I would recommend. Next we have What Happens After Midnight, and this book was really fun. It was just like a little game, just like Kaya Walther always does in her books, and I enjoyed it. I think it was a great palette cleanser and it was just a fun little read. I gave it a 3.75 because it was just nothing deep, but it was a nice entertaining book that I think you guys should read. The next book that we have is The Housemaid and by Freida McFadden. I give this one a 5 stars. It was really good, really entertaining. Kept me on my toes. Is that what people say? Kept me on my toes? Sounds weird. I don't know, but I was on the edge of my seat. I know that one. I was on the edge of my seat while reading this book. It was really fun. The plot twist was nothing like life-changing, but it was entertaining. Then I read The Housemaid's Secret and I rated this one a 4 stars. It was good, but I feel like it was nothing crazy and it was pretty similar, I feel like, to the first book. So it wasn't like my favorite of all time, but it was still good and entertaining and I would still recommend reading it. The third book is coming out, I don't know when, but I just saw it on Goodreads recently that it was coming out and I was like, oh my gosh, that's exciting. So I will definitely be reading that one. Next we have Shut Out by Avery Keelan. I gave this one a 4 stars. I didn't like it quite as much as Offside, but I still really enjoyed it and it was super entertaining and I would definitely. And the last one in the stack, still have 2 more stacks, but the last one in the stack is Serenading Heartbreak by, who's it by? Ella Fields. It was so good, you guys. I gave this a 5 stars. It was love triangle, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I feel like it was done super well and she didn't end up with who I liked the best, but she ended up who I thought she was the best with, if that makes sense. So it was really fun. It's her brother's best friend, and then, which was her first love, and then her second love is a baseball player, and I don't know, it was just such a fun read and I feel like you can low-key get like 2 books in one with love triangles, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I would really recommend you guys to read this book. I feel like it's not as popular as it should be because it was so good. The next book we have is Playing by the Rules by Monica Murphy. I give this one a 4.5, but like low-key it could be higher. I don't know, it was so good. This is the second book in the series. I still don't know what the series is called, but I loved the couple in this book and I just loved all the little things about it. Like, oh, it was so good. This is one of my favorite Monica Murphy books by far. The next book we have is Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau, and I really enjoyed this one. I did not think I was going to, just because it's a fiction book and there's no romance or, you know, mystery or anything. It's just, but it was actually really entertaining, and I feel like if you guys want to read a fiction book but not be bored, like the vibes in this book were everything. And look at this cover, like this is such a cute cover. I would definitely recommend you guys to read this book. I gave it a 4 stars. The next book we have is One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. I gave it a 4.75. It was so entertaining. I just love rich people drama. Like, Magnolia Parks is my favorite book, and my favorite show is Gossip Girl, and I really liked this book, and it was just rich people in a hair salon and a murder mystery. Like, it was just so, I don't know, this book is so cute. Like, I just love this book. It was so good. I definitely want to read more by her. She also wrote The Perfect Marriage, which I still haven't gotten to, but someone convinced me to read that because I really do want to read it. I just not getting to it. Then after I read that, I started the Chestnut Spring series, and I read Flawless by Elsie Silver. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. It was so good, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite of all time, but it was really good still. And who was this? Oh yeah, Summer. I love this book, actually. I was all like, it's not my favorite of all time. It is. It's not my favorite in the series. It's my 3rd favorite, but it is still so good. Like, if you guys haven't read Chestnut Springs yet, you need to, because this is definitely one of my favorite series. The next book we have is 1% of You by Michelle Gross. I give this one a 4 stars. It was good. I don't really remember it at all, honestly. I think it's like single parent. I don't know. I would recommend it just because I enjoyed it, but I don't remember anything about it right now. The next book I read was Our Final Love Song by Ennis Perkins. I rated this one a 3.5 stars just because it was at like the summer camp, and I just don't think I like summer camp trope, just because I don't know, it's all based in the same place, and that's also why I don't like workplace romances as much, because I feel like I want some different setting in a book, not just the same thing every single page, you know. But it was still good, and it was a fun concept, so I would recommend it, but it wasn't my favorite. The next book is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I am obsessed with this book. I gave it a 4.5 stars. It was so good. I literally was so surprised by it. I don't know why, but it was just everything you could ever want in a book. It was small town, grumpy sunshine. Well, was it Grumpy Sunshine? I don't know, but it was so good. She's like a celebrity, and she goes to the small town, and their chemistry was so good, and I just loved the found family and the town. It was so cute, and I would definitely recommend you guys reading this book if you haven't already. The next book is The Enforcer by Avery Keelan. I rated this book a 3.75, and can we just talk about this cover for a second? I hate it, right? I ordered the pretty cover. There's a beautiful cover out there, and I got this piece of crap. Like, what? Pissed me off. But anyways, I'm sure that has happened to you too. It happens to the best of us, but I still enjoyed this book. Actually, I don't remember this book at all. What was it? Oh, this book was actually good. I only rated it a 3.75. Really, that's interesting. Huh. I would definitely recommend this book. I feel like it was a really fun hockey romance that I enjoyed. It was Second Chance, I'm pretty sure. I feel like it was fun. It was not, I feel like this one was a little different than all the hockey romances because it was Second Chance, and I feel like usually those aren't for hockey romances. I don't know. It was fun though. Ew. The next book is Credence 1. If I could rate it a 0, I would. You know that one TikTok like, I can't rate you a 0, or I can't give you a 0, so I give you a 1, or something like that. Yeah, this is incest romance. If you want to read incest romance, do it. I vlogged me reading this, and the next book, Does It Hurt, which I didn't super love either. But if you want to see me get tortured, watch that vlog on my channel. It's called I Read Taboo Romances or something or other. This book was trash. I mean, this book was trash. My brain doesn't work. This book, Does It Hurt by H.G. Carlton. I rated a 2.75. I didn't really like this book either, but the ending, there was like this little mystery going on. I was like, what the heck is going on? Then I was actually pretty entertained by the ending, but there's like shark grossness in this book. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I would not recommend it though. Next we have Flawless by Elsie Silver. Y'all, Flawless? Really? Does this look like Flawless to you? Heartless by Elsie Silver. I give this one a 4.75. It is my favorite, my second favorite book in the Chestnut Spring series. This one follows Willa. Does it though? Yeah, it does. Willa and Cade, and Willa is this like super free spirit. Like, she's just very happy all the time, and Cade is like the freaking grumpiest guy ever, and they are just so cute together. I loved this book. You guys should, like I said, read the series. The next book we have is Lovers Like Us by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I gave this one a 3.25. I didn't like it much. It made me decide that I don't want to continue on with the series. It just isn't my thing, so I don't know. I would not recommend it. The first one, I feel like you should just read the first one, call it good, in the Like Us series, and just if you want to see a little bit more of the found family, but of the Callaways and everything, but I don't know. It's not too good, at least in my opinion. The next book we have is Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. I love this book so much. It's Infinity Stars. I read this in like a day, like right after it came out, and it's huge. It's like 600 pages? Like 570 something pages. It is so good. I loved this book. You guys should definitely read the series, minus the second one. I DNF'd that. At the end of this video, I have DNFs. I think I already said this, but the second book was one of them. But read the first book in the series and the second book, but read the first one and the third one. This is the third one. It is so good, you guys. Like, I can't even explain how good it was. The next book we have is String Me Along by Lillian T. James. I gave this one a 3.5 stars. It was good, but I was expecting it to be as good as the first one, which is Meet Me Halfway, but it wasn't anything compared to that. But I still enjoyed it, but it just, I don't know. I think the main girl kind of annoyed me, honestly, Layla. Or maybe it was the guy. I don't know. I can't really remember. It wasn't super memorable, but it was still a good book, and I would recommend it. The next book we have is Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. I gave this one a 3.5 stars. It was good, but I feel like the best thing about it is the cover. Like, look at how cute the cover is. I love it. But it was a fun story and a good concept, and I liked the story. Like, it was good, you know? Like, I would recommend it to you guys for sure. It just wasn't anything life-changing. The next book we have is Funny You Should Ask by Alyssa Sussman. I gave this one a 4 stars. I was so surprised by it because I feel like a lot of people do not like this book. Like, they hate it, but I really liked it. I thought it was so entertaining and really fun, and I think you guys should give this book a try if you haven't, because you've been scared off from it. Like, I don't understand why people don't like this book. I think it was great. Like, it was different than all the other books I read, but why do we want to read the same book over and over again? I definitely think it was super cute and that you guys should read this one. The next book we have is Plane to Win by Monica Murphy. I gave this one a 3.75 stars. It was good. It was entertaining, but it was nothing spectacular, but it was good. The next book we have is Never Ever by Kelly Moore. I gave this one a 4 stars. I read this as an arc, and the second book is out. I don't know how, because it was out like right when I got the arc of this, so I don't understand. And I do need to read it because it leaves off on a cliffhanger. It was really entertaining, so I don't know, but it was good, and I definitely think you guys should read this book. It was it's like it's a dark romance, but it's not super dark. Like, the guy is a part of this, like, his dad and brothers are a part of, is it a mafia? I don't know, some bad group of people, but he doesn't want to be a part of that, but he just is, because by blood, you know. So that's the only dark thing about it, is more his family rather than him. So this is like a good light dark romance, I would say. The next book we have is The 7-Year Slip by, who's this by? Ashley Poston, and I give this one a 4 stars. It was so good, and I loved the concept of it. The first 100 pages were not my favorite. I feel like they were a little slow, but after that it really picked up, and the romance was so good. Like, it was so good, and I think this book is such a fun concept. I think I already said that, but yeah, I would definitely recommend you guys to read this book. Sorry, I'm like all tilted over to the side. I'm like tired. The next book is Play With Me by Becca Mack. I gave this one a 4 stars. It was really good. The spice in it was so cringy to me. Like, I did not enjoy that part. But like, them as a couple, so good. The found family in it, oh my gosh. I love the team. I love all the girlies and the boys, and their romance was so good. And it was, I think it's the captain's little sister. It was so fire, you guys. Like, this book, I think about this one a lot, I feel like. And I'm actually, the third book, Unravel Me, is on my TBR right now, so I'm going to be reading that one soon, and I'm so excited. The next book we have is Five Survive by Holly Jackson. I gave this one a 3.5. Okay. Anyways, I gave this one a 3.5. It was good, but I feel like it was kind of boring. And it was only set in like the same setting the entire book. And like I said, I don't like that. So that's why it was not my favorite of all time, but it was good. And I feel like, I can't remember exactly if I guessed like the plot twist. I don't even know if it was a plot twist. Like, would I recommend this? Not really, no. The next book is Powerless by Elsie Silver. I gave this one a 3 stars, and I think that was a really harsh rating, but I stand by it only because I was expecting it to be so good, and it just wasn't. It was not based in Chestnut Springs, really. Like, I feel like they were not there. And I feel like her only personality trait was having a crush on Jasper. Like, it was just, I don't know, and I don't like that. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend this one, but like, I would probably just read it because you have to read the series, but it just wasn't, I don't know. Like, I feel like if I had no expectations of this book and it was just like an author I'd never heard of, not part of the Chestnut Springs series, I probably would have rated it higher, but since it is, my expectations were very high and this did not meet them. Next we have Float by Kate Marchant, and I give this one a 3.25. It was good, but it just wasn't memorable, and it was a Wattpad book. It was published off Wattpad, and I feel like you could tell. It was, yeah, I don't know. I read it in like a day though. Like, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't anything special. Oh my gosh, guys, this next book, Infinity Stars, The Problem with Dating Brittany Cherry. So good. So good. Small town, grumpy sunshine, city boy, small town girl. Oh my gosh. I freaking think about this book all the time. I would die for this book, you guys. This is probably, well, it is one of my favorite books of all time. I think about this all the time. It is so good. I would reread this book. Like, I'm not into rereading. I know I just reread Magnolia Parks, but that's Magnolia Parks. But I would reread this one. It is so good, and I miss it. I want to read more Brittany Cherry books. This is the first one I read of hers, and I got it as an ARC, which was crazy because she's Brittany Cherry. But, I don't know. I have a few more of her books, and I think I ordered more. I don't know. You'll see my book haul. That's coming out soon. I think it'll be my next video. But anyways, that has nothing to do with the books that I read last year because I haven't even received them yet. The next book we have is The Sister Between Us by Haley Dicker. I gave this one a 5 stars. I think you guys should go into this one completely blind. It was so good though, and that's all I'm gonna say, but you guys should definitely read this one. And the last book in the stack is Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair. I really liked this one. I gave it a 4 stars, and it was so cute. I'm actually reading the second book right now, and something really cool about this series is each book is by different authors, but it's all based in the same town of Harvest Hollow. And yes, does that remind you of Stars Hollow? Yeah, because me too. In the town, it literally reminds me of Stars Hollow. Like, it's bigger than that though, but like, it totally gives Stars Hollow vibes. And this one is a hockey romance. He is a hockey player, and she is the social media manager, I think. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this book. It has no spice in it either, for those of you who don't like that, and I feel like it was a nice change, you know, than all the other hockey romances that are just super spicy. Okay, we're on the last stack, you guys. Well, this is the most recent book I read, or of all these, and this is Body Check by Tegan Hunter. I'm getting the ARC in like a week or something, so of the second book, so I was like, oh, I have to read the first one. And I kind of feel bad because I did not like this one that much. I gave it a 3.75. Okay, so like, that's like a good book. It was a good book. When I say I don't like it, okay, I know I'm being like so counterintuitive. Is that even a word? I don't know, but I know I'm like contradicting. That's what I was trying to get at. I'm contradicting myself, but it was good, but it just, I don't know. I feel like it showed way more spice than their relationship, and I feel like they closed the door on them talking rather than closing the door on the spiciness. Like, I'd rather read about their emotional connection rather than the spice, but I feel like it was just like, oh, we stayed up all night talking. And it's like, okay, I would rather read that than you getting it on. Yes, I did just make myself cringe too. The next book we have is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. It was my first Riley Sager book. I gave it a 5 stars. I really liked this one. I read it, like, I could not put it down. I had to find out what the heck was going on, and it was so good. I definitely recommend you guys read this book. The plot twist, okay, I guess one of them, but there were so many at the end. I was like, it was so good. Next, we have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I rated this one a 4.75, and Mariana Zapata knows how to write a good romance, I feel like. This book was so good, and I know it's long, but the new covers aren't as long, so just don't let that discourage you. Just go buy the new cover. And I don't know, I feel like this was like a really good romance, and I totally imagined the guy, because he's a football player, and I imagined it. Why is my camera battery blinking? I've been filming that long. It was fully charged when I started this. That's so lame. I wish I had a backup camera, a backup battery. I like how I just give up instead of trying to hurry and grind this out. I'm like, done. Anyways, this book was really good, and I would definitely recommend it for you guys. If you haven't read it already, I feel like a lot of people have, but I seriously love this book. And I imagine the guy as Travis Kelce. So I was trying to say before my camera battery started freaking out on me. But yeah, I imagined him as Travis Kelce because he was like this big football player, right? And then he has a buzzed haircut and a beard, like blue eyes, like, okay, Taylor Swift core. I'm just kidding. Okay, well, I'll be back after I charge my camera some more. Okay guys, we're back. Well, my camera battery is charging. I made myself a coffee. Yum. And hopefully the lighting is still similar. I feel like it was light when I started this. Well, it definitely was light. I started this at like 2:30 and it is now 5 o'clock. So, oh, I don't have the ring light on. That's why I look different. I was so confused. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's not plugged in. That's awkward. I was like, why does it look different? I couldn't place it. Okay. Here we go. There we go. So much better. All my books are falling over here. Love to see it. Okay. Let's get back to this. The next book we have is Beloved by Corinne Michaels. I gave this one a 3.5 stars. It was good, but I feel like it was really forgettable. Like, I literally just read this like a couple weeks ago. Maybe even last week. I don't remember it. Oh, I do remember it. It was cute. I would recommend it. It wasn't my favorite book of all time, but I do think it was I really like Corinne Michaels' writing. So I feel like it is worth your time. It is a good book, and I think it's workplace. That's also why it's not my favorite ever, but I feel like it was done in a good way. Next, we have Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. I rated this one a 4.75. It could have been a 5, but like, I had to throw my feminism, my morals, just everything out the window to like this book because it was definitely a corrupted book. I'm not funny, I know, but it was so good. Like, I cannot wait to read the second one and complete the whole series. I am obsessed. It was so entertaining, so good, like just everything. Oh my gosh, I loved this book. If you guys are looking for an entertaining dark romance and you don't want it to be morally acceptable, read this book. The next book I had was actually quite surprising to me. It was Next to You by Hannah Bonham Young. So this is the second book to Next of Kin, which I think I rated a 3.5, I think I said. And so I was expecting this one to just be kind of average, but I gave it a 4.25. I actually really enjoyed it. It was so fun, and they work on building this school bus together so she can travel around the world in it, and it's like best friends to lovers, but I don't know, it's so cute though, and I feel like their love was really deep and it was just so good. I really enjoyed it. Next we have Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I give this a 4 stars. It was nothing super memorable, but it's still really entertaining and they were cute, and it definitely reminded me of Chestnut Springs a lot. Not quite as good, but I still really liked it, and it was a fun cowboy romance. The next book we have is Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I liked this book quite a bit, but it wasn't my favorite of all time for thrillers. I still gave it a 4 stars. Like, it was good and the plot twist got me. I was not expecting it, but like, I don't know, it wasn't like, I want to say it wasn't super entertaining, but it kind of was. I don't know, but I would still recommend it for you guys for sure. The next book we have is 'Tis a Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. I rated this one a 3.75. Okay, I read it for like a Christmassy book in December, right? But it wasn't really Christmassy at all. I mean, she wanted to go to this Christmas party. That was basically like the whole point, to make her ex jealous, but she ends up falling in love with this guy. Or actually not this guy. That's her ex. With some guy. His boss actually. But and it's to go to a Christmas party, but like, I feel like it had nothing to do with Christmas. Like, nothing was really Christmas vibes, but I don't really like Christmas books so much. They kind of bore me. So it kind of worked out good for me, but if you're like trying to pick up a really Christmassy book, this is not the one. But it's still a really good book that I think you guys should read. Next we have The One and Only Binding 13. Yeah, I gave this infinity for obvious reasons. If you haven't read this book yet, you need to. I have the second one on my TBR currently, and I cannot wait. I cannot be more excited to read it. And I love Johnny and Shannon so much, and I cannot wait to just expand them in my world. That doesn't make sense, does it? Sorry, I'm trying to fix the books so I don't fall. Next we have You Said I Was Your Favorite by Monica Murphy. So the one before this was, you think I can find that? Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but it's the one with the ballerina shoes on the front that I was talking about earlier. You Said I Was Your Favorite. Oh wait, that's this one. I'm so dumb. Anyways, I gave this one a 5 stars. I was not expecting it to be that good because I loved the second book in the series, but the third and fourth were very like meh to me. But this one was so good. It was like, oh my gosh, I literally loved them together so much, and I feel like it was just such a fun story. The vibes were so good, and I definitely think you guys should read this one. And they're all interconnected standalones, so really you could read the second, which is A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, and then this one on its own without having to read the others, because they're very much not connected, like at all. They're just like distant cousins, like with the last name Lancaster, and I don't know, but you can still read the whole series because it is still good. Next we have The Inheritance Games and The Hawthorne Legacy. I gave this one a 4.5 stars, and I gave this one a 3.75 stars. This one was so good. I was like really excited to get into this, and it did not disappoint. And this one was still good, but I feel like I was expecting it to be more romancy, and it wasn't really. I don't want to say it was repetitive, but it kind of was. But it was still good, don't get me wrong. Like, I definitely still think you should read it. Next, we have Love Redesigned by Miss Lauren Asher. And I loved this book. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I was not expecting it to be as good. I don't know why, because I really like Lauren Asher. Like, Heads by Sweatshirt is literally about one of her books. Actually, one of her series. And this one was so fun. It was so good to be back in Lake Wisteria. It is the first book in the Lakefront Billionaire series, but it takes place in the town that the final offer was in, Lake Wisteria. And so you got to see Alana and Cal, and just the town is so cute, and I really like truly believed their love. Like, I feel like they're soulmates type thing, you know? So I would definitely recommend this one. Next, we have Forbidden Hearts and Broken Dreams by Corinne Michaels. I gave this one a 4 stars. It was good, but I actually read this one first, and I gave this one a 5, so I was expecting it to be as good, and it just wasn't. But look at these covers. They're so beautiful. I loved them though. Like, I love Corinne Michaels' writing, and I can't wait for the series to expand. Like, I can't wait. Expand? Is that whatever. I cannot wait to for the next books to come out. I got this one as an ARC, so that's why I read it before this one, because yeah, I got it as an ARC. So, but it was so good. Like, you guys need to read this book. Her books should be more popular. You heard it here. The series is so good so far, and I cannot wait for more. Next up, I read The Sinner's Duet. I read There Are No Saints and There Is No Devil. I rated this one a 4 stars. It was really good, but it just like, I don't know, it was kind of weird a little bit, but I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was a good dark romance. It was my first Sophie Lark book as well, and so that was exciting. I really like her books. I feel like she puts like crack in the pages. And then I read There Is No Devil, and I gave this one a 3.75 just because I feel like the first half was them just talking about their relationship, and then the second half was really good and entertaining, but I feel like the first half just wasn't giving what I wanted it to be, because I wasn't reading it necessarily for the relationship part, just because he's kind of not a great guy, you know. But overall, I would recommend these books, this duet. Next, we have Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I give this one a 4 stars. It was really cute. Like, I loved the 2 main characters. I feel like they had big personalities, but it was based on a summer camp, and as we all know, Benno, not my favorite, but it was still really good. Not quite as good as Icebreaker, but I would still recommend you guys to read this one if you haven't already. Next, we have Hopeless by Elsie Silver, and I gave this one a 4 stars. And okay, this was not what I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be deeper, and it just, and kind of like wrap everything up like it did, but I don't know, it just wasn't my favorite ever of the series. It was my second least favorite. I did not love it, but it was still really, like, I rated it a 4, you know, like it was still good, but it just wasn't the best of the series. But as we all know, I still recommend the series. Next, we have Loveless and Fancy Ships. I give this one a 5 stars, and okay, I was not expecting to like this book that much. My boyfriend picked it out for me, and my boyfriend picks my TBR video, and I was not expecting to like it, but it was actually so good, and I got the second book for Christmas. You'll see my book haul. I cannot wait. It was like so fun, so underrated. You guys, please read this book. Like, I need more people so I could talk about this with them. Like, if you've read this book, please comment so we can talk about it, because seriously, I loved it. Next, we have You With A View by Jessica Joyce. I was expecting this one to be a 5-star read, and it definitely was not. I gave it a 3.5 because, okay, the beginning started off strong, but then they go on this road trip, and I feel like there was no detail. Like, they were just like, oh yeah, and we saw this today, this is what we did. Like, just like telling about it rather than like experiencing it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I do not recommend this one. I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority there, but I still, it just wasn't my cup of tea. Next, we have Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I gave this one a 3.75 stars. I actually liked this one. Like, I had really low expectations because I feel like everyone hates this book, but I liked it. It wasn't my favorite of all time, but I think it was worth reading. Next, oh, I'm so dumb. I did Hopeless before I even talked about Reckless. This is my favorite book in the Chestnut Spring series. 5 freaking stars. So good. This one follows Winter and, what's his name, Nash? Oh, Theo, not Nash. I don't know what I'm talking about. This one follows Winter and Theo, and it is accidental pregnancy, but don't get your panties in a twist. Is that what people say? If not, that's so awkward. But I swear, this is such good accidental pregnancy. Like, this book is everything you could ever want in a romance book. Like, please read this, but the whole series. The next book I read is The Flirt Alert by Kayleen Winter. It was good. It was really good. I rated it a 4.5, and it was like a workplace romance, but it was done so well. It was kind of insta-lovey too, but I loved it. Like, it was so good, and I definitely think you guys should pick this one up, and the cover's so cute. Like, I don't know, I feel like this book was so good. Next, we have Love You More by Stacey Travis, and this book was really cute. It was small town vibes. It also gave Chestnut Springs vibes, not quite as good also, but it was like similar, I feel like, and it was really fun. They worked at like a winery. I'm pretty sure that's this one. And I actually really enjoyed this. I gave it a 4 stars, but like, I definitely am excited to continue the series when it comes out. So I know it's not like a popular book, but I would definitely recommend it for you guys. And we're on the last book. I can't believe it. It's finally happening. It took 3 hours to do this, but we're finally on the last one, If Only You Knew by Stephanie Castro. I gave this one a 4 stars. It was good. I cannot remember this one for the life of me. Like, I read this as an arc, and then I got it in the mail because I ordered it after because I enjoyed it. So I was like, yeah, I want the physical copy, right? But it's so hard for me to remember, but I really did like it. It was like really good. Like I still recommend this book. I have nothing to say about it other than I enjoyed it. Like I can't remember it. But it's good. Read it. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at all these books. I can't believe we did all that. Took us long enough. Oh my gosh. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know your thoughts and opinions of these books. And let me know if there's any books you want to see me read or any videos you want to see me do. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye, guys.